Alright, so this is actually kind of a different review here. This is actually for a insert review from a seller called Store All the Bits. And it's for this version of Ra, which I'm going to turn it sideways just because it's probably easier to sort of show off. So yeah, I gotta say, first of all, really not much lid lift. If you kind of finagle it better, this is actually for the obviously 25th Century Games Pharaoh Edition. I had actually the first printing of this, so you know that's a thing to kind of note. But what I do have to say is, you know, the seller was very careful, you know, to make sure that, because I guess there's been changes between obviously the retail version and then during the last Kickstarter some things were, I guess, redone. And then, you know, I believe the seller also has a insert for the new expansion, which I don't know, the way I look at it is if it's not broke, I don't need to fix it. So I wasn't too keen on that expansion there, but whatever floats your boat. But yeah, you have the two trays for the coins there. You have your sort of bag as per usual, and then you have your sort of other tokens here with this nice little section there. I mean, do you really need it? Not really, but I think it's actually a pretty nice insert. And then obviously you have your sort of bidding tiles there. You have to kind of be sort of precise with how you put them back in the box, just because you know, they won't fit as well. This box doesn't necessarily go flush, to be honest, but it doesn't really need to be. But you just kind of have to keep it relatively alright. Yeah, see, so it's a little off. Maybe it's just kind of the way that I put it, but whatever. That doesn't really affect it too much. And then I have the player boards. These are actually the revised ones, you know, that were at the last Kickstarter. So I haven't played it since then, and obviously the rulebook. So you have to, like I kind of did mention before, you do have to kind of be deliberate on how you sort of put this back in. Because otherwise you will get the lift. So the easiest way that I kind of avoided that, because I did have to kind of finagle with it a little bit, to be honest, and I was like, oh man, don't tell me I wasted my money on this, but I didn't. You just have to kind of play with it a little bit. I actually would recommend probably doing that instead, just in case you're kind of storing it horizontally versus vertically, because you know, you might get some spillage there. And this is probably where I'm going to run into a little bit of trouble in terms of trying to get that sort of piece in, but whatever. And then we also have obviously this bag, which you don't really need now because I have the sort of components, the little component trays for that. And then finally you just kind of put that that piece there, and it should in theory go back to the box and give you a little bit of a box spot there, but whatever. I did move it around a little bit, but if you can tell, it doesn't really necessarily go. Pieces won't necessarily go. The coins won't necessarily go everywhere. They'll kind of stay contained, which is pretty good. But like I said, yeah, this was from a seller that on Etsy. You know, check them out. It does have quite a bit of other stuff, and you know, I don't know if it's going to be my last purchase from them. I honestly was actually really happy with that. Like I said, the seller is really, really cool. You know, about specifications, making sure that you get the right insert for whatever version you have. So yeah, I can't say anything bad about that. I was really happy with the purchase. I'm gonna put the link to the shop in the description. I don't get anything out of it aside from, you know, helping a small business out. So anyways, yeah, take care.